Welcome to Lesson 1. In this lesson, we're going to explore the sequencer window and show you how to add an instrument and how to create musical clips and also how to record yourself. So let's get started. First of all, let's explore what we're looking at when we first land in YuStudio. You can see here that we have this sequence window. This is where we're going to lay out the music that we make in YuStudio. Above this grid system, we have these numbers. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are called musical bars. And in music, they represent how we count the beats in our music and the timing. Don't worry about that too much. We will come across it again as we progress, and I'll mention it more in the future. But for now, it's enough to just know that these are musical bars and we can use them when we come to make a layout or an arrangement of our music. YuStudio comes with a range of instruments that you can use. These are called virtual instruments, and virtual instruments means that it is an artificial form of real instruments in the real world. So, for example, pianos or guitars. There are also what are called synthesizers in there as well, which in the real world, a synthesizer is an electronic keyboard. So let's have a look at what's available. We can see that by coming over to New Track on the left here. And now I've got a list of instruments I can use. This bottom one isn't an instrument. This is a separate thing that we'll cover later on in the course. But the rest of these are instruments. The score one is useful if you can read music, but the rest are all available for anybody, whether you can read music or not. Let's choose an instrument. I'm going to choose Simple Synth. Okay, now I've added the instrument, two things have happened. On the left here, I now have what's called a track lane. This is where I can now put music for this particular instrument and lay it out across my sequencer. We're going to do that in a moment, so don't worry if that doesn't make too much sense. Below, we have the control panel for the instrument. Now, each instrument has a different control panel. So for now, we're not really going to concentrate too much on that. One thing I will show you, though, on the instrument panel is that I can change the sound of the instrument. So if I click where it says Simple 1 here, you can see I've got a list of instruments. Before we explore some of those, let's just click over here at the top where it says Keys. Now I've pressed that, you can see that it's opened this panel here. So this panel is a virtual keyboard. The virtual keyboard has two views. The first view that we're on represents your actual computer keyboard in front of you. And you can see that if we look across these white notes here, we have grey letters and we have black letters. So the grey letter represents the key that you should press on your keyboard. So if I press the letter A, it presses that square here. So when I press A, it's playing a C note on the keyboard. If I press S, it plays a D note. If I press D, it presses the E note for me. And you can see the rest. So A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, all along the keyboard will play the white notes. You also have these black notes available. So if I press W, it will play those, and the E, and the T, and the Y, and the U. Now the other view that you can look at is this view here with this little keyboard icon. If I click that, it will change the view, and most of you will probably recognize what looks like a piano. The same letters on the computer keyboard still work the same way. If I press the A on my computer keyboard, it presses this C note here. If I press S, it presses the D. If I press W, it does the black note. E will do the other black note. D, F, T, G, Y. You get the idea. So we can switch between those views just by clicking on these icons here. You'll also notice on the computer keyboard icon, I have two buttons that say Oct. One says Oct minus and one says Oct plus. What that stands for is octave. In music, each of these musical notes have high versions of each note and low versions of each note. Now, at the moment, if I press this C, it makes that pitch. If I press octave minus and press the C again, you can see that it's lower. If I press octave minus again, it goes even lower still. If I do plus, it goes the other way, it goes up. Plus again, and plus one more. So this gives you a range of different pitches that you can play with using the same notes. So now that we've got a keyboard and we can hear our sounds, why don't we try some of the presets? Let's come back to the control panel here, and I'm just going to go through them. Let's click on Cheeky Ringer. I have no idea what that's going to sound like. Okay, that's cool. I can also change the preset without clicking here each time. I can use these little left and right arrows here to go through the presets. So now I'm on solid bass. That sounds like it should be lower. Let's go down again. Let's click on the next one. That sounds quite low. Let's go up one. So the next thing I want to show you is how to record a musical clip. We've made our track, we've got our virtual keyboard up, but now we want to put some notes in that we play on our keyboard. Now, the easy way to do that is to click on record, and when we're ready to go, we can press play, and then I'm just going to press the notes on the computer keyboard that I want to play in. I press stop now, I've finished, and now you can see that it's captured all of the notes that I played. If I press the rewind button, it will take the play meter back, and I can press play to hear it. Okay, we don't need to listen to the whole thing, you get the idea. So, what I'd like you to do now, in a moment, is pause the video. But first, let's just remind you what you're going to do. To do that, I'm going to just quickly start again so that you can see the whole thing. I'll click File up in the top right corner here, New. I don't want to save any changes I've made, so I'll click Discard. Now I have a blank one. So here's the checklist you need to do when you press pause. You are going to come to New Track, click on New Track, select Simple Synth, add the synth, then come over to the right hand side, click Keys. Now we have our virtual keyboard. You can preview the sounds, remember, with the letters on the keyboard. You can choose the sound you like and then press record and then press play. Press stop to finish, rewind and play again. Okay, it's time to pause the video and you have a go. When you come back, I'll show you how we can cut these clips up, delete them, and make new tracks. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully you've now recorded something of your own. Now I'm going to show you how we can manipulate these clips and start laying them out. First of all, I'm going to close the keyboard because I finished with that for now. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is how you can make a copy of what you've made. If you want to make a copy, the first thing to do is click on the clip. And when you click on the clip, you'll see the white line appear to show you it's selected. Hover over this plus arrow symbol here. As you do that and drag, you can see it makes another copy. And you can do that as many times as you like. I'm just going to make one copy to keep it clear on the screen. Let's look at this second clip now. I don't want anything after bar 7. So all of this here, I'd like to get rid of. Now there's two ways I could do this. The first way is I could shorten this clip. To do that, I move my mouse onto the edge and you see that when I'm hovering over the clip, my pointer is one triangle. But when I move to the edge, can you see? It becomes a double arrow. That tells me I am now resizing the clip. So to do that, I'm going to left click on the mouse and drag back. And now you can see I can drag it back to bar 7 and I've no longer got all of that on the end. I'd also like to trim this one back a bit so that this clip starts closer to that one. To do that, I'm going to do the same thing, drag it back to bar 5, and now I can move this clip up by clicking on it and dragging. You can see that I can actually lay the clip over areas I've already recorded. If I let go, that's now cut these clips up into separate things. I don't actually want to do that, so I'm just going to undo it with my undo button, and you can see now it's taken it back for me. So instead, let's just click on the bar 9 here to move my play meter out of the way. I'm going to click in the middle of the clip and drag it over, and now it's lined up on the grid. Another thing I could do is I could click on the clip and cut it in an area that I want to make a split. To do that, I would come to Tools and I would change my tool to Split. And now I can click Tools away, and now I can click on the clip where I want to make a cut. So I'd like to make a cut just here between the long notes. So let's click there, and you can see it's now made a cut for me. You can see that both clips are currently selected. That's fine. To unselect them, just click off on the grid somewhere and they will no longer be selected. Now, once you've made the cut, it's very important that you come back to Tools and you select the Select arrow again, because otherwise this is what happens. Uh-oh, that's not what we want. Don't worry, we'll undo it all and take it back. Oh, too far. Remember the redo button? That's what I want. So I need to change my tools back from the split tool to the selection tool. Now I've clicked on select, I can close it by clicking on tools again. And now I can click on a clip and it doesn't cut it anymore. Finally, you can add another track if you want to put another instrument in. So perhaps this time we'll add subtract. It's put in a different control panel for me. I'm just going to close that for now. I'll use the sound it comes on. I'm going to open my keyboard again. So now I'm going to record another part, and I'm going to press record and play and stop. And now I have both parts. I can press rewind and press play. Now, when I recorded these, I just recorded these randomly. I didn't actually record them in time with my tempo. So to actually record so that everything will play together in time, I need something to count the beat for me to play to. I can do that by pressing click here and turning the metronome on. So the metronome is a counter that's going to count these beats for me. At the moment, my tempo is set to 110 BPM. So that's the speed that it's going to play at. We're going to look at this control panel in the next lesson. But for now, just know that in 1 minute of music, 110 beats will play. And we can hear those beats when I press record in a moment. So I'm just going to click off, and now that will hide that. I've clicked on bar 8 to move my play meter out of the way of what I've already recorded. And now I'm going to press record, and I should hear a beep, and I'll try and play along to the beep. Press record, I'm ready to go, so play. Okay, so you can hear, if we play this back by clicking, let's click from bar 8. That's pretty good. Now let's click back on bar 8 because now I want to record on my slow mover synth, or the green one. So I click on the slow mover track, and now I know that I'm on that because it's gone light grey and the other one's gone dark grey. This tells YuStudio that when I press record, I want to record on this lane and not the purple lane. So I'm ready to go. My play meter is on bar 8. If yours isn't, or isn't where it needs to be, you can click on the numbers and it will put them where you need it to be. I'm going to press record, so I'm ready to go. And I'm going to play something a little bit higher up on my computer keyboard, along with those notes I've already played. So let's click play to start the recording, and I'll play the notes in. Okay, so I played these notes for longer than I played these notes, but I still made sure that when I changed the note, it landed at the same time as one of the clicks. Let's hear it back. Click on bar 8 to move the play meter and press play. Excellent. Now I've got a piece of music that isn't in time, all of this, and do you know what? That was just a demo, so I'm going to delete that. And now I've got a piece of music that is in time, which means that I could add other parts of YuStudio, such as pre-made drum beats, into here, and the music that I've made will be in time with anything else I add. That's the point of using the metronome. So for the remainder of this session, I'd just like you to have a go at recording your own bits of music by using just the computer keyboard and turning on the click function so that you can record in time. Now, if you find it a little bit difficult to get started recording in time, I suggest that you just press rewind and press play, listen to the metronome, and just practice pressing the notes in time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that with a little bit of practice, by counting the numbers out as you play, it'll help you land those notes in time with the metronome. So the final thing to show you for this session is how to save your work. There's two things we need to do. The first thing we need to do is come up to this area here where it says Untitled, and I'm just going to click at the front, and I can sweep across and press backspace to clear out the text. And now I can type a name in here. So I'm just going to call this test because that's all it is. And then I press enter. Oh, you can see I've already recorded one called test. So it's now named it test 1. So it doesn't overwrite the other one. That's fine. I'm going to come over now to all the way to the right. And you can see here it says file. I'll click file there. And now I can save. It says all saved and up to date. And now I can happily close my YuStudio knowing that my work is safe. That's it for this session. Please go away and explore playing these different sounds. See what different sounds are available, because when you start making your own proper pieces of music, it will be good to already know what some of these sounds sound like. And you can get to know some of them and use them regularly because you like them. That's it. Off you go. Have fun. I'll see you in the next lesson.